aquariumradio.com.
Aloha, this is Enki. You know me as Aquarius, and this is our age, the Sata Yuga, time to celebrate with us. We have programs on all chakra tantra, love styles and relationship choices, counseling strategies and techniques that you can use at home. We have extraterrestrial radio where we deal with alienology, paranormal people, and we have an experiencers network. We have a section called Ancient Aliens, and the programs therein are Enki Speaks, Nimma, the Mother of Humanity, has her program, and we revise ancient anthropology. And most important of all, we have peace paradigms, because this is the age of peace, harmony and understanding, sympathy and love abound. No more falsehoods or derisions, mystic crystal dreams and visions. Aloha. I'm Dr. Sasha Lesin, Dean of the School of Tantra. On this show, All Chakra Tantra, we explore Tantra in the sense of weaving, being able to center yourself and embrace the opposites within you at each level of your consciousness, each chakra. You learn to work your inner power plants that generate security, sexuality, power, love, communication, vision, and feelings of oneness with everyone and everything. You get all your chakras going together within you and between you and your lovers, and you really connect and feel the spirit. Call in your questions. We're happy to answer them.
Join us on All Chakra Tantra.
All Chakra Tantra.
And here are your hosts, Janet and Sasha.
Aloha and welcome to Aquarian Radio. Today's show is, what is it? All Chakra Tantra. And the title of today's show is Tantra School Part II, Reprogramming. Today's date is January 7th, 2013, and I am your host, Janet Lesin, and this is our co-host, Dr. Sasha Lesin.
Aloha.
So, this show today is going to be featured on two of our websites, schooloftantra.com and schoolofcounseling.org. So I've been sharing what it was like to go to Tantra school. First show last week, we did communications exercises to get to know each other. Then we started in on the first chakra work, balancing the needs of our own inner vulnerable children and subselves that protect us, especially the ones we learn from our parents, religion, and culture. Today, Dr. Lesin takes me and you vicariously through cues the students use in Tantra school. He'll have us revisit cues that teach how to deprogram yourself. We're going to do reprogramming, so you're going to deprogram, then reprogram.
Yeah, so first let's backtrack a little. So Janet has come to the Tantra school. The first day has been all about communication. And now the second day is about the first chakra. That's the chakra where we have our vulnerability, our inner children, and the parts of ourselves that we develop in order to handle the world, like our intellect, our inner critic, in Janet's case, her pleaser. And these are the primaries. And for most people, they think that's who they are, the successful set of, and they may have changed. The child may have been a compliant pleaser, and then became a rebellious opposite of mother, and then became later on became a nurturing mother. So they can change throughout time. But the persons usually, by the time they've just started Tantra school, they actually think that they are their primary selves. And what we know and what we need to learn in Tantra school is that a lot of these primary selves are either just copies of the parents or reactions to the parents, and they're nothing that the person ever consciously chose. And so what we teach people in Tantra school is how first for themselves to dissociate from their protective subselves. Not that they're going to lose them, because they'll always need them, but to be able to say protective subselves, intellect or pleaser. Would you mind if for a little bit I looked at the opposite, the part of me that you call selfish, or the part of me that thinks things out instead of feels them, and so forth. And so what we do is we get permission from the primary selves to let the person embrace the opposites within them. And the first part of this, and of course this is critical, because what messes up most relationships is people treat their wife as though she's mom until and after a while, if the wife is treated like mom, she gets tired of giving after a while, and she becomes angry mom. And then if the other person in the relationship gets the anger enough, they might turn into a much more angry parental figure, which reduces the woman who's been acting like mom to a unhappy daughter, and off we go into unhappy relationships. And it's easy, once you know how to divorce yourself from your primary selves, the selves that you developed with your parents and culture and religion, then you're free to make your choices in life. So here's the second day, and we do some exercises and some we imagine, and we did these in earlier exercises, imagining our ideal mother and ideal father and so forth. But then we start getting into the really heavy stuff, and people are asked to pair up and deprogram themselves by going through the negative history with their parents. And Janet will tell you what was like for her to be in that scene, and to just see what it was like. And so first, what it's like to be in the scene, then what it was like to clear with your parents, and then what it was like to take others through and watch others go through their clearing with their parents.
Well, I've taken many sessions of Tantra School, many weeks of Tantra School. Been here 15 years, and we've taken hundreds, if not thousands, of people through the Tantra School process. And it's quite profound. It's essential work to clear with your parents, or your lack of parents. You could have been raised in an orphanage. To deal with those people who were taking care of you in your psyche, because even though they might be long gone, they're still there, haunting you and influencing you. They're a voice that just runs in your head, and you imprint what they did to you or said to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not going to throw those voices out. We're just going to allow you to hear those voices, the protective voices, and other voices too, and make a choice from what we call an aware ego, from a center that embraces both the ways you usually are and the ways that you are privately inside. You know, your inner artist and your inner free person, and your inner whatever it is that you suppress or don't fully develop. That's going to be given a hearing too once you deprogram yourself and stop being an automatic.
So I think what I'd like to do is start with the personal.
Yeah.
For me personally, when I landed at Tantra School, I was crashing and burning. I had a rough ride with the parents, and that translated into rough partnerships in my life, because I did not detach from the programming. I didn't have any model to do so. It wasn't like I was a bad person. I didn't do it. I just didn't have any direction or avenue to do this work until I landed at Tantra School. And I kept having extremely dysfunctional relationships, extremely, like getting involved with an alcoholic, and abusive. My first husband was abusive, and my second husband was verbally abusive. First husband was physically abusive. So these patterns that I imprinted from my childhood just carried over into my adult relationships. And there was a critical incident when I was in Honolulu. I landed in Honolulu in 1991, and this woman named Angelica said to me, "Who abused you, your mother or your father, that you had such abusive relationships. And I had thought that my relationships, or that my childhood was perfect, and it was pretty good. But that was food for thought, and it just stopped me in my tracks, and I went, wow, there's something there, because I knew deep down I was very ill at ease, and I had many diseases. So when you're ill at ease, there's something not flowing in your life. So my body was manifesting this level of pain that was unresolved in my psyche, in my subconscious. So in Tantra School, Dr. Lesson has these wonderful cue sheets that he has the students pair up, and they go through this intense process of dealing with their childhoods. Now, when I first did the work, of course, I had the teacher himself, and we were in love, and so he was just spontaneously taking me through these different episodes in my childhood, and I was clearing it when we were doing the sacred sector massage and honoring the yoni. But that's kind of not the first thing you do in Tantra School, so I landed in like an advanced level personally, which is just what I needed, because I was, like I said, crashing and burning. But slowing it down to the cue sheet level, which is what you do in day 2 of Tantra School, that's a more surface level of catharsis. It's not as deep as when you're getting your yoni massaged and you're in orgasm. So I was going through the cue sheets.
Well, it sets you up for when we do the yoni massage. It makes all this parental material more salient, closer to the surface of your consciousness.
Right. It's absolutely perfect, the sequence that we do in Tantra School. However, the way my life unfolded, I did it out of sequence. So when I slowed down and we started doing Tantra School and doing it sequentially, I saw how profound and magical this procedure, this psychotherapeutic tantric procedure is that Dr. Lesson developed, and how sophisticated it was, and how it brought students into great intimacy with one another in a short time. And it wasn't like everybody was going to go get married to each other or, be involved forever. But they developed a great deal of intimacy, and many of those people that have gone through school realize how profound the experience was and how it transformed their lives forever. So that was my first, or the second day was going through, and I don't have specific numbers of the exact first time I went through the second day, because I've just gone through it with so many people. But it never ceases to amaze me when I go through this process yet again, because sometimes I will facilitate the process for other students, but we reverse roles. So the student needs to know what it's like to take somebody through it. And so I end up revisiting my material, my life story, over and over and over again.
What you have to understand is the Cherokees say we walk a spiral path, and in the end, we come back to where we were before, but with more mature eyes. And so that's the whole point. No matter how many times you go through this history, the deeper and deeper your insights become. And as you take someone else, as Tantra School, you learn to take someone else through the process. While you're pausing and breathing and letting them process material, you are taking your own material to an ever deeper level. And this is a critical thing. If you're going to really master Tantra, you can't just have it for yourself. You have to teach someone else, and that'll take you deeper in it.
Right. So, what was I saying? Oh, I went through it again and again. And I've had students come to us and say, oh, I've done all my therapy work. I've done this over and over again. I did it 5 years. I did it 10 years. I did it. And they, too, when they go through it once again, and especially in this framework where you're dealing with people that are all looking at their history with their parents,